My name is Lorita Medina, and I'm from the Philippines. Must you ask that question?
So you can say it. You can say it. Be proud of it.
No, I'm 78, going on 79. I'd say I had fun. I had a fun childhood. I grew up near the sea before. Memories of my childhood, 5, 6, 7 years old. I was always playing by the sea.
Always
And
playing.
my grandfather would call me, Lolita, it's time for lunch. The only food I recall I like is mango and AAPis. That's the best.
Where mango's better in the Philippines than here?
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better mango. It's world renowned. Insecure, stubborn, quiet, withdrawn. I'm by nature quiet
Introverted.
and introverted, not attending parties, skipping classes,
Oh no.
and driving at 14 or 15 without license. My father, who was a number Maximo, he was a top man at the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know how to drive. My father didn't know how to drive, but he let me drive a car. As long as we had our driver beside me, then it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was okay driving a car with no license at 13 or 14. Yikes. I was not reckless. I think I was just showing off. Because when we were in high school, University of the Philippines High School, nobody, or at least only one person, was riding a car to and from school, and that was the daughter of the vice president of the University of the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a driver, and that's what, and everybody else took public transportation, jeepneys, bus, and everybody did. And then came myself. I don't know. I know it was. I don't recall the name. I think Ford or something. I still didn't have many friends in college until I reached the fourth year when I became President of the University.
The president of the
University.
Wow.
No. Department of College of Liberal Arts. I did
So
not seek the position. Please be clear, the position sought me. I have pictures too to prove it.
Okay. Did you run for a position?
I did not run. I was standing waiting for our driver to pick me up, and he was about 5 minutes late. And so my friend came up to me and kind of forced me to join a big group of kids who was holding something, meeting. I never belonged, so I didn't know what they were up to. And then Mrs. Osorio finally called me, and then Miss Molera, would you please join us? Nobody says no to Mrs. Osorio. She's such a lovely lady, so I did join them, and then I got the position. I'm sure the kids did not know what they're into. They knew me because in some of my classes I used to speak. I was asked to speak by my teachers on different subjects, like communism.
Yeah.
Communism in China, my eye. So I did. Yeah, so I did.
You
Things like
spoke
that.
about communism.
you'd think I know what I was talking about, but I prepared for it actually. Whenever I was asked to speak before a class, then I prepare for it. Yes, at the time, it must be 1963, 64. This communism, I was not in favor of being not totally a communist party. I was kind of leaning towards it because of the corruption in the Philippines. I could see corruption and I did not see communism how it was then. So, of course, being an idealist person, you think the other side is good, like grass is greener at the other side of the fence, right? So I thought, and it was not a very popular side to take. No wonder I was kind of popular or unpopular. I moved to the US in 1973, therefore, because your grandpa to be at the time was, we could not get married in the Philippines because your grandpa was divorced, and divorce is not accepted in the Philippines. It's still not accepted in the Philippines. His first wife was here in the United States and already married at the time
To someone else.
but we still could not get married, so we decided we'd come to the United States and be married here, and we did get married here. And then I got pregnant with Renee, my firstborn. So 2 months before she was born, I went back to the Philippines to give birth to Renee. And then after 7 or 8 months, we came back to the United States. And then I got pregnant the second time with your dad. And so we went back to the Philippines. And then after 6 or 7 months, we came back here. My desire in going to the Philippines is because we had maids to take care of me there. And so that's what I wanted, is to have maids around me when I was taking care of my babies. I came back here after 6 or 7 months in your dad. And I did not work permanently because I was taking care of the children. Plus, your dad's 4 daughters, in his earlier marriage. Oh no, you're not your dad, your grandpa's dad. It's 4 daughters. So
You mean my dad's dad?
Yes, your dad's dad. Back to the Philippines again. And we did.
So there was a lot of back and forth.
There was a lot of back and forth. So we stayed in the Philippines, put up our own printing press. And we stayed there 3 or 4 years until the Marcos Revolution came about. So after the active years or activism years of the Marcos administration, your grandpa said, this is really going to the dogs. So he decided he went back here, and then I finally closed. I was left in the Philippines, and then I closed shop, and then I joined your grandpa here again. So, and from here on there, here I am.
Or did you?
Yes, we stayed in Hayward. Yes,
there are a lot of Filipinos in
Hayward.
Hayward.
Hayward is home only because we've gotten used to this place. It has become home to us. It's a good life. It's okay. We struggled a lot. And we managed to travel a lot as well. So it was okay. So now I'm fine. I was young, like in the elementary grades, I learned the word graft and corruption early in life. At that time, the president was President Quirino, excuse me, sir, and later President Garcia, and that's the political situation I grew up with, graft and corruption. And then the Marcos administration came about, and that was another 20 years of graft and corruption. You're right. So we came here, and there's graft and corruption here, but not as much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because we wanted to get married at that time.
Why, though, did you decide to stay here and raise my dad here?
Yes, that's a good question. The second time round, it was, I guess, as many, immigrants. The purpose really is to have a better life for our kids, to bring them up in a good country. No matter what people say, it's a good country, and we love it. I still miss the Philippines, but here I stay. Leading a life of crime. I like that. What kind of crime? Well, it could have been very difficult. Very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have stayed in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are not politically inclined, and to be living comfortably in the Philippines, you have to have political connection. Well, I guess that's a life of corruption. If not criminal, a life of corruption was in the stars, I suppose. Oh, of course, coming from a poor country, you are so impressed with roads and bridges. Airports, schools, clean, water 24 hours, PG&E 24 hours, 7 days a week. You don't get this 24-hour water every time. You know, these are really amazing things for me. And of course, the big buildings and employment. But the culture is entirely not 100% different. But to some extent, although we are kind of Americanized, because we were under the Americans for so many years, for 50 years. And then in the 50s, 1950s, when television was first introduced in the Philippines, we had Ed Sullivan with his wry humor. But we nonetheless laughed with Ed Sullivan because
it's Ed Sullivan.
It's Ed Sullivan, and we had to, I guess. But I love Lucy. She's funnier than, she's very funny. Anyway, yes, culture is different. Bringing up kids are very tough here, especially now with the social media. Also, children are more respectful in the Philippines. Sorry, kids.
Do you think I'm disrespectful?
Although you are properly brought up, and we were not outspoken as much as kids here are outspoken. This is not to say that it's good or bad to be outspoken, no, but we were quieter, kind of just listen and be nice. At least if you cannot be nice, you keep quiet
Right.
and roll your eyes. So that's how we were brought. You know, when we were in the Philippines as I was growing up, in a province rural area, we had this person, his name was Valentin, and we children would see him walking about with lipstick on.
Bakla.
And we were just laughing at him, and he was laughing at us, and we did not care. But I think we had fun with Valentin because it's so different.
And you said you had a lesbian
yes,
friend.
I had lesbian friends, of course. And it did not make any difference whether you're lesbians or gay or straight. I don't think it made a lot of difference, because there was important thing is there's always meeting of the minds.
Yes.
You know, my friends were very, Senada in particular, very smart person, so, and very funny.
Mm.
So we had good time. Oh, yeah. So we had, you know, so lesbians were. We had those in the Philippines, but they were not out of the closet.
Mm.
Once they were out of the closet, then that's okay. You know, they're just are accepted. Yeah, accepting is. Yeah. In many respects and in many situations, whether it's lesbianism or corruption, accept. We just try to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not truly politically aggressive. As long as there's food on the table, children are at school, we have a house or even an apartment, wherever it might be, and then there's peace, then that's fine. We're good. I mean to say, you're still a good person, you know, you don't hurt anybody, you're still smart and good looking. As long as you make good of yourself later in life, will you be a good adult?
That's
A
all
good
that matters.
member of the community, a member not giving headaches to those around you. Oh, I noticed the sudden burst of laughter. This is probably a phase, being a teenager, that you are probably,
I think
because of that sudden laughter.
I think that's for some
It's a phase.
for some people it is a phase. For me, I don't really think so, because it has been true for years now.
Okay, so in which case, do you feel that you will be giving your parents headache?
No.
Okay, well, in that case, I accept. Okay, so you be a good member of the community and not harm anybody, and be not, what do you call it? You're not on welfare or anything, because that will hurt people, you know.
Yes.
Because you are educated, you came from a very good family, you have everything in your life, then I see no point in,
Karen.
huh?
In getting mad over it, yes.
Yeah, and being a source of headache for the president. Here goes Mona again, going to jail for the 10th time. What is your name again?
Kai.
Are you Mona or Kai? Is that AKA or what? You will be you, and you will be good, and you know, as I said, you're not on welfare, you're able to take care of yourself. first, you're not used to not having maids or household help. But it is lacking. So at times, when I would be washing dishes and cutting onions, I'd be crying at the same time. Yes, it's a transition is always different. Culture is always different, and I have many good employers, all of them Caucasian, and we were always on good terms because I do hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a good worker, and so that was good. But socially, I'm not good at it. So
No.
it's a transition. Yes, no, I'm not good at social stuff. So that was my difficulty during my first years. It's like finding that people talk about, how was your weekend? Or did you walk your dog? What did you eat? And there's just so many things that I did not find too interesting to be talking about.
Did you know English before you came here?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. English was kind of our language, very much part of our language. We were taught English during our first years in school. Books, English, everything. Writing, English. Alphabet, English. So we were more English than the English. Yes, my sisters here, family first. So I'm glad that my sisters here and my nieces and nephews are here, and of course my family first, my children and my grandchildren. That's inevitable. So families, friends, my friends. I really don't think I have developed a friendship since college with any so-called friends here. They're more acquaintances, and I really did not care
Because family.
to.
Because you have family, right?
Yes, I have my family, and I've come to know a lot of people through my sister. They're mostly religious folks. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they're good people, and they come to my house, and we have socials. But not, I don't think they're truly. I wouldn't consider them friends. They have a different sense of humor. They're good people, mind you, but the sense of humor, the wit, is not there. My family, they have the wit.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Yes. I think Maximo has his own wit.
Yes, Maximo is different.
Yes.
But fascinating. I had a crush on somebody when I was in high school, and I was living the North Men's Dormitory. Yes, we did not date. There's no such thing as dating then, you know. And plus, my father, he was so strict. There's no, like, if somebody talked to me, then my father would be walking back and forth in front of us, back and forth.
I'm like, don't do anything.
Okay, yeah, so in public too. I mean, to say, you know, in like a living room, but we didn't have any living room then. So, yeah. So he was my first crush. And I had a number of crushes.
But what about your
Because we were living in the North Men's Dormitory, so there were many cute boys, but nothing serious. Your grandpa was
Lolo.
Lolo. Lolo was my first real love, I guess.
Your only one.
Mm-hmm. And my last love, because he's smart. I like him smart. And he's kind of suplado in a way, like me, kind of aloof in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But we can be sociable if we want to.
Okay.
So he's the more sociable person, and I'm more the quiet person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yes.
You know, we have the same values. We laugh at the same thing. It's very important that I laugh with my whoever is beside me.
You love me. Yes.
Yes. I feel terrible that there's all this violence, not only to Asians, but if I should be specific, yes, to Asians, whites are violent to blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think it is. I mean, of course, racism is prevalent. I don't think we can erase racism much as we want to, because there's just so many much difference between cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we cannot erase racism. We
Yeah.
cannot, much as we want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everything is like between blacks and Chinese.
Chinese, yeah. Would you say that Black people and Filipinos get along a little better?
Yes, yes.
Than Black people and Chinese people?
Yes, we do get along with black people better.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Chinese is an entirely different culture from Filipinos. Entirely different.
Definitely,
Mexicans,
there was an alliance there.
there is a good relationship there too. Yes, so we're kind of on good terms
Middle
with
ground.
everybody. Yeah, we're on good terms. We're on good terms with the Chinese too. But
Yeah. What about white people? White people.
white people are fine. We're
Both
on
of your kids married white people.
We're on good terms with them too.
Sometimes.
A good number of times, yes. Of course, there are exceptions. Oh, that is, yeah. But otherwise, we're on good terms.
Sure.
Definitely, there's hatred now, or it's out in the open. It's out in the open because of that. Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you.
Thank you. They're now out in the open warfare.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. He has a strong desire to be good to the people.
Yes.
And he's doing that. We can see that.
Yeah.
I hope. For intelligence.
Did you know that Trump is the first government figure to get banned from all social media?
He should have been banned a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I'd like you to know that democracy is very important and that we should protect democracy at all costs, and that we should do our activism share of it. The sort of corruption is, we must recognize it and not tolerate it.
Yeah.
I hope you peace, peace is an elusive thing.
Yeah.
Number one is peace. And clean environment, no plastic, as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Use and reuse as much as possible.
Yes.
And not to be too materialistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise, realism is not good.
Yeah.
As I always believe. To you guys, much is given.
Thank you so much for this interview.